How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which ended up closing the day at $45.47. It has been on quite the run, so I want to make sure I give you guys an update. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to see the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be getting into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $45.47, being up 8.99%. On the low, it tested $41.49, and then on the high, testing $45.48. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 59.913 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 43.766 million shares. So we did have above average volume, and you can see we had a good amount of buying pressure. When we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 60.22. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we have strength above the 200-day, the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and we're also above the 50-day. So we're seeing a lot of strength in Lucid stock. So one of the things I want to bring to your attention, we ended up seeing a high of $45.48. So going into tomorrow, we'd want to see a move going up to around $47.50. Getting to $47.50 will be a key area, and if we can get past it, easily getting into 48 and also that 50 that many are looking out for. Now, if we end up having a pullback, which would not be surprising due to the fact we have been on quite the run-up, then you'd want to see us actually holding up support at least around the $44 level. If we end up breaking through 44, then I want to see if we have some strength here right around this 42.50 area. Now, as far as what I want to bring to your attention in a technical sense, we have been making higher lows for the past 4 trading days, and as you can see from the volume, there has been a lot of buying. So what I'm seeing is that they want to push this stock to $50. There's a chance this may not happen, but that's exactly what it's looking like, and I could see as far as for tomorrow, you want to keep an eye on this play. And just to give you guys a quick tip here, we have the 50-day at $43.20. So if Lucid pulls back to this area and you see a lot of strength, this is a good idea to go in with calls or to buy shares. This is not financial advice, just sharing my personal opinion. So now let's jump into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it is at 51.03, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 12.34 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 16 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow free rate, it is currently not available. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of January the 7th, it was at 50.84. And then we take a look at the close of January the 10th, it was at 51.03. So that was from yesterday. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the numbers will be later on in the evening, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see an increase. But again, the more buying pressure coming into the stock, the more moves we're going to see to the upside. So let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 521, and then on the outflow, it was 539. So we actually had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 25.12. On the medium, it was 251, and then on the small, it was 245. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 10.16. On the medium, it was 261, and and then on the small, it was 268. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for January the 11th, which was today, we have that inflow for the large scale being at 14.96 million. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying, but the large, which potentially could represent institutions, was the difference maker here. We had 25.12 million for inflows while having only 10.16 million for outflows. So again, very bullish on the institutional side and as well as funds. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.67%. So this is not too bad for a stock like Lucid. Yes, many are still holding on to their position, but we do have a good amount of trading activity. And you could tell that right away from the volatility you see inside of the stock. But again, it continues to show some strength, and it's part of the reasons why I want to make sure you have a game plan and you watch these videos. So let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, the recent press release that came out today ended up finishing as the runner-up of the North American Car of the Year, right behind the Honda Civic. This is a big accomplishment, and it's part of the reasons why I see this stock is getting a lot of attention. There's a lot of momentum. And also on the technical side, it is continuing to look bullish. It is forming higher lows. A lot of FOMOs coming into the play. We do have that lockup that is coming, but one thing I want to make sure you're aware of, that you have a game plan. So in regards to the price action, if we end up having a pullback going into the open tomorrow, then you're going to want to see some strength holding up at least around the $43 level. Breaking through 43, then of course we could see how well it could hold up around 42, but I feel if it starts breaking through 42, we are breaking that technical pattern in regards to forming higher lows, and that's where we could start pulling back, and then you'd want to see if it could hold up 40 bucks, and breaking through 40 bucks, you guys already know what time it is. Now, as far as for the bullish case scenario, you're going to want to see it make that move tomorrow, going to around the $47 range, getting above $47.50 to be exact, because if it's able to do this, this is where I can see Lucid making that move going to $50. And I know a lot of traders are going to be looking forward to that. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. There's a lot of negative market sentiment around the stock due to short sellers. But one thing that is very clear, there is still a lot of demand. We could see this in the order flow distribution. Institutions have been loading up on shares. We have been seeing some selling on the retail side, of course, the profit taking and so forth. But again, institutions are just continuing to load up. And the way 2022 is looking for Lucid, it's very promising. So this is why you see the stock is performing the way it is. Do keep in mind, they do have earnings that is going to be coming up. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on that, especially if you're vested in this company, because if they end up disappointing, there will be a pullback. And this is why I say you do not need to be FOMOing into this play for the long term, paying these type of prices. Patience will pay off. I want to make sure I'm being clear about that. And also to update you guys very quickly, I was inside of the Webull comment section, wanted to interact with a few of you, and I was saying, hey, I had to average down on my puts to sell them for a small profit, because I'm like, hey, this stock is just continuing to see momentum. I did end up buying some puts that are the $45 puts right before the end of the close. So we're going to see how those turn out, but if I have to average down again, like I did with my previous puts to get out of the play, so I'm at least profitable, then I will do that. And before I close this video out, I want to make sure you guys are also paying attention to what's happening in the overall market. We saw a strong recovery. Lucid was able to benefit from this. So if we end up having a pullback, keep in mind, we still have some key inflation data that's going to be coming out for the rest of this week. So that means that's why a pullback can possibly occur. And I want to make sure you guys are also prepared for that. But do keep in mind, things are looking bullish. I'm not going to be naive and tell you guys, well, you know what, this stock is only going to be going down. Again, there's a very high possibility this run can continue. But that's not saying that I want you guys to FOMO either. And if you are going to be getting into a play, just make sure whatever money you're going to be using, you are not afraid to lose it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.